Hey guys, Park Crazy here. I'm going to try to make this real quick. This is my Splitting Steel uh, low life scavenger build. It's using Splitting Steel plus Bloodthirst, going low life. So you do and being low life with Petrified Blood. Um, the concept is based around stacking life, and you stack life using the Apostate, and then Energy Shield Gear, and then mirrored rings with really high life rolls. Um, the way you get damage is Bloodthirst gives you about, with 10,000 life, gives you 200 flat added damage. Um, and then you also use Brat Pith Globe and Crown of Eyes. This combo with 10,000 life, you're getting 500% increased spell damage, which then gets turned into, uh, with Crown of Eyes, to 750% increased damage for your Splitting Steel. So just by stacking life and these two items, which are also giving life because of the Apostate, you get an insane amount of damage from this combination of just stacking life. And then with any build that gets a lot of added flat damage, you just go Paradoxica. It's really strong. It gives you double damage in all your hits. It gives you you can get a chance to impale. There is an argument that I did see some other builds that went because that was the Slayer build that went with the triple damage belt and stacking endurance charges. So I just think Paradoxica is by far the best in slot. I don't think you're gonna beat it. Now for defensive layers, you are Petrified Blood and low life. So your Petrified Blood is when taking damage from hits, 40% of life loss below half life is prevented, and 76% of life loss prevented this way is lost over 4 seconds. You're mitigating a lot of that with a lot of regen on the tree, being low life with like this node gives you 4%. You're leeching, and as long as you have above 50%, as long as you have less than 50% life reserved, I have about I have like 49%. You can leech, and it basically gives you the effect of overleeching. Then you combine that with, which was really cool on my own Scavenger, is from Stasis Prison. So Recoup is really good with Petrified Blood because every time you get hit, you'll recoup. So basically, you're recouping the damage that you would be losing from Petrified Blood. So basically, with all the different regen and all of this, basically you only die to hits that would straight kill you. And so that's really powerful defensively. And just and on top of all of that, I also have Defiance of Destiny, which usually doesn't work when you reserve half your life, but because your life pool is so big, you actually get to have even more. And so the other part of the defensive layer is I am also going Glad. I'm nabbing Glad, the Glad node with Flesh and Flame, which gives what normally the Wrath Pith Globe is only 25% block, but making it Gladiator makes it 50% block. The aggravated bleeding is whatever, and then you get like 2% more damage, 1% more damage every 2 seconds, up to 50%. You're in a fight against a unique enemy, which is nice. It's basically like 10 to 20% more damage just on a normal fight. You'll probably get to around there, or if it's a longer fight, it could be really good. And then with a combination of these block nodes plus these block nodes plus Versatile Combatant, and then Prodigious Defense gives you exactly it gives you 68% attack block, 65% spell block. So that's your defensive layers. You have a huge life pool, Petrified Blood, 65 block, lots of life recoup. You basically only die to dots that when you're not leeching. So I wouldn't. This build won't be able to do Uber Sears. It just won't. And then the other thing that can kill you is the biggest problem I'm having with this build, and I don't really know how you could actually mitigate it because you have to use your chest item. You're using ES gear. You don't have, and then your chest and your helmet slot are being used. You don't really have a way to mitigate fizz damage. There's just no, the avenues to fizz to elemental are being used by other uniques, so you can't use it. So you're gonna take, so I think my max fizz hit is like 9,000. It's not great. So that's kind of the negative of this build. Now the rest of the Ascendancy points, one is going to Starforge. Because you're an all fizz build, you can now shock. It's just you don't really have a whole lot of enemy takes increased damage. So being able to shock is really nice. On bosses and uniques, you get about 15% shock on that, which is really nice. And then the area of effect is really good for splitting steel because the explosions, shotgun, and having better AoE makes it easier to shotgun, and then it also just helps with clear. And then the other thing is Fury Valve, which is really powerful on Splitting Steel because Splitting Steel already does the top line of this modifier. So this modifier is literally just 2 extra projectiles. And because Splitting Steel shotguns, because on return, with the it explodes on return, it can shotgun. And so this is just more damage. It's really powerful. And then the only thing I'll point out is I'm getting my chaos resistance from this Light of Meaning plus the unnatural instinct combo. And so that's basically it. Nothing is out of the ordinary, nothing that you won't just find on the POB. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll have the POB linked in the comment section. And then after this, after I'm done yapping, I'll have a little bit of a clip from a tier 17 map where I kind of rush to the boss, but I clear along the way, so you can see it could do. Tier 17 is pretty nice. The damage is pretty nice. The single target could be better. I think the build for single target will just like the single biggest upgrade I can do is to get a Nimbus, because having return projectiles, you're shotgunning, having all that damage do 61% less. So the Nimbus is the biggest thing I could get right now to upgrade my build. Thanks for watching.